Hello everyone, myself Gauri Telang, audiologist and speech language pathologist in the Department of Audiology, AYJNISHD, Mumbai. Today we are going to discuss about auditory listening, unisensory and multisensory approaches. Now coming to the introduction of auditory listening, auditory learning means that a child learns most effectively by listening. Speech and language acquired through listening depends on various factors. So now let us discuss about these factors which affect the auditory listening. The first factor which affects the auditory listening is age of identification and intervention. As all of us know that if the child is identified of having hearing loss at very early age, that is mainly during the critical period of speech and language development, followed by immediate intervention, then the chances of the child acquiring speech and language through audition are much higher than a child who is late identified and late intervened. The next factor which affects the auditory listening is the acceptance of the device and regular usage of the device. The acceptance of the device should be there from the parent side also and by the child also. So ideally, a child should be using the device for all waking hours so that whatever auditory stimulation goes on, the child will be in a position to listen and learn speech and language through auditory modality. The third most crucial factor which affects the auditory listening is about the benefit from the device. If the benefit from the device may be a hearing aid or a cochlear implant, the benefit should be well within the speech banana. If the benefit from the device is within the speech banana, then the child will learn the speech and language mainly through auditory modality. As the child shows poor benefit from the hearing aid, then the chances of learning speech and language only through auditory mode become lesser. The next factor is about the additional impairment. If a child is having any other additional impairment, then the child may not be in a position to acquire or develop speech and language only by auditory mode. We may have to shift to an alternative mode of communication or an augmentative mode of communication along with auditory listening. The next factor is stimulating environment. There has to be a rich stimulating environment by the therapist and mainly at home by the parents and the caretakers of the child. Now coming to various approaches of auditory listening. The first approach is unisensory approach. The term clearly, from the term only we clearly come to know that in unisensory approach, it makes the use of only one sense. Now in this particular chapter, we are talking about the auditory listening. So in this sense, the unisensory approach means that the child will learn only through one sense, that is the auditory sense. In multisensory approach, the therapist or the caretaker or the parent will use all the senses. The therapist or the caretaker may not use all five senses together, but in most multisensory approaches, the kids engage with the material in more than one way. So at least a more than one way or one sense is used in multisensory approaches. Depending on the need, the senses used will be different. So in unisensory approach, we have auditory verbal therapy where the child is learning speech and language mainly through auditory modality or only through auditory modality. And in multisensory approach, there are two approaches like auditory training and total communication where more than one approach, that is more than only auditory modality, will be used. These are the references. Thank you.